Yes, I don't want to get too far ahead, but let's bring it back to our days, our good old days.
Yeah.
How was high school for you? Did you enjoy it? Did you think it brings in any like skills that you have now?
Well, I think I tried to model my current game off Mr. Stu Harrick, so so yeah, it did definitely. Heathdale was an interesting place. I got there in year 10. And I guess in that first couple of years, it was just trying to like test the waters and which social groups should I hang out with and who should I be friends with and stuff. Especially early days year 10. But then yeah, it was like year 12 was probably the best year of school.
And then you kind of realize we were all a bunch of weirdos at Heathdale, yeah.
Well, nah, like, it wasn't. It was weird because when I got there, I just didn't know if I'm like, oh, they're pretty nice, but like, are they popular? Like, do they have a are they losers?
Question.
And this isn't about not about you guys. I'm saying like, if I was friends with a group, I'm like, should I stick with them or is this a bad group to hang out with? And these were the thoughts I had going into Heathdale.
He knows. That's how I know Dusky was popular in his old
Oh,
school.
but I was just like, a normal student, but I just was worried. I didn't want to pick a group that was like loserish and be stuck.
So did you?
No, not at all. And to be fair, everyone was friends, so it didn't really matter in the end. But like, I remember my first week of Heathdale was sick. I remember just heaps of people were so nice. Everyone's talking to you. People knew my siblings though a lot. People were talking about my siblings because I had a brother and sister that went, and the only person I knew at Heathdale before I went was Max.
Max Moraletta.
Pretty sure.
Why is that?
Pretty sure he was the only one that I knew because his sister was best friends with my sister, and he used to also catch the same bus as my brother home, and they used to walk similar paths because he lives pretty close to where I was. He was the only person I knew, but yeah, so everyone was really nice though.
Look at us, huh?
Yeah, so no, it was good. Good times, Heathdale. Loved it.
That's how you know Dusky was the bully in I. He was having a good time.
He was one of the bullies in our level. Along with us too, though.
No, I agree. But Dusky was always nice. I just always remember you always had like kind of outspurts that were just like, what? Like that came from Dusky? Like I can't believe it. Like example for like you kicking that ball at Kevin's face.
Yeah.
In my head, you guys are like really close, obviously, and you still are. But then at that point, and I think the Sandeep thing already happened as well, right? Where he tried to kick the ball in your face as well.
What Sandeep thing?
Was that a thing or not? I'm cooking.
No, I think you're.
Okay, I'm cooking. Okay, but
I don't
anyways.
think I've ever had beef with Sandeep. I don't think you want to have beef.
No, I think from my memory, Sandeep tried to kick a ball in your face as well.
Well, look, I just want to put this out there. Sandeep cannot kick a ball, so
He was good at centre back.
he was good at getting rid of the ball, but he was not good at aiming the ball. So
Scary guy sometimes.
he was, yeah, sometimes. Yeah.
And that was so your experience from, I'm not gonna say the college, but that college and then versus Heathdale, it was completely different. Would you say?
Very different, I think.
Was it a private school as well?
Yeah, it's a Catholic school, Emmanuel College. And then went to Heathdale, which is a private school, and there's a lot of similarities in terms of like I think the rules and stuff. But in terms of the social groups, well, for starters, there was like no wogs at Heathdale. There was like there was no other wog guys there. Whereas I came from a school where all my friends were like wogs.
Yeah.
So that was the first thing I noticed. I'm like, oh, I don't know. That was just something I noticed straight away. But everyone still liked super wogs. So that was good. I had a common ground with a lot of people, and then I think early days, like I made pretty good friends with you, Kev, and Yoss, and a few others, and around sport. So I love footy and soccer, and they did. So that was really, really good. But yeah, so I had really good first impressions, I think. Yeah. But yeah, I think the people were quite different, school to school. Yeah. I don't know why. I don't know how to explain that, but they just sort of were.
Why did you move over?
I was a bit of a drop kick at Emmanuel. So my mum sort of gave me the ultimatum, and she's just like, you're just doing nothing at school. I had this best friend called Cody, and we would literally just do nothing for weeks on end in class. And when I left Emmanuel, it was Jumpstart Heathdale. We did like 4 weeks of year 10 at the end of the year. If you guys remember, we used to do that at Heathdale. And so I left Emmanuel with 5 weeks left to go, and I had probably about 6 assignments due that I hadn't started. Like stuff like that. Like I just would do things in a day, try and get them done. And mum's like, if you want to actually do something, you should probably move schools. I think you need to. And so I said, all right, sure. And my eldest sister and brother went to Heathdale, and they got a 95 and 98 respectively. So I'm like, maybe if I move, I'll actually have some success. And fair to say that I didn't get a 98 but
Well, still a lot better than both of us.
not great though. It wasn't a great ATAR. I wasn't proud of it.
So is that why you wanted to become a teacher? Because your ATAR wasn't great?
No, I actually knew I wanted to be a teacher from year 7.
Wow, really?
I had a conversation with a teacher called Mr. Kamanzuli, who was my homeroom, and I said to him, like, why on earth would you be a teacher? And he gave me a list of like 8 reasons. And I'm like, oh, that actually sounds
You
pretty
said
good.
that in year 7?
Yeah.
In that tone?
Yeah, I just asked him, like, why on earth would you want to do this? Because I remember everyone just mucking around and stuff in year 7, like, no one does anything. And yeah, he gave me like a few reasons, and I'm like, that's actually pretty good. Like, you get to help people, you get to teach what you really like and enjoy, you get to share knowledge, you know, you get good holidays. That was always a big one for me. Good, like, you know, you get a good lifestyle balance. And then it was only affirmed in year 12 when I had Mr. Struharik as teacher, and he was like the best teacher ever.
He was a maths teacher then.
Yeah, he was amazing.
So he kind of encouraged you to take up teaching as well, or he inspired you to be similar like him?
He inspired me to be similar. I never spoke to him about it. In fact, I never really spoke to any teachers about wanting to be one because I was embarrassed, because I felt like I wasn't the student that they would expect to become a teacher, if you get what I mean.
I get you.
So I never spoke about it with them out of embarrassment. I'm like, I'm not that good of a student, like, and they want me to be a teacher, and they'll be like, so why do you act like this? Or why don't you study harder? Because I didn't study very hard. And so yeah, but he was very inspirational, like an amazing teacher. So yeah.
I don't remember you being like, you're making it sound that you were kind of like a rascal.
I wasn't that bad, but I just feel like I didn't put in as much effort as I should have. And
For me, you were always like smart in my head. That's how I saw you. Because you were
Yeah.
always like in methods.
well, yeah, I think
And you were didn't you do physics?
yeah.
Yeah.
But I wasn't. That was my lowest score. We weren't good at physics. You weren't good at physics either, Dave.
I didn't pass
I
anything.
think that was more of a teacher issue than
You know,
a
I actually
student
bumped
issue.
into Mr. Marzi about 2 years ago
Yeah.
at a bar, like at
At a bar.
well, a bar restaurant at Williamstown, and I was on a date with my girlfriend, and he was on a date with his wife, and I was just having a chat to him for like 20 minutes, and he actually remembered me, and I couldn't believe that. And he said, I always liked you in my class because you were interesting, and I'm like, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing,
that's not a bad compliment there.
but I always remember from physics there was a day where you, Sandeep, who were the other two? I
Kiddis
reckon
was there.
Kiddis and Nikki.
Yeah.
4 of you got held back after class, and I reckon I was the next person in line. If
Oh,
he
because
had,
we failed.
yeah, like he held you back to have a deep chat about like, what are you doing? I remember, I think I avoided it. I would have been the very next person in line, I reckon, but I just avoided it.
Oh man, that physics class was so good. We were supposed to go on so many excursions. We didn't go in a single, because it's physics. Think about it. It's quite a visual subject. You can imagine it, but then never once did our teacher bring us out, and he just kept telling us off because like I think that is it a bell curve? The way that that curve in our class, there's all these like, at least like I reckon 40% of the class is in the very smart, and then you got like 3 people that are in the middle, which is probably Dusky, I would say, and then you got like me, Nikki. I wouldn't say EJ, but EJ was pretty close to there. Then Sandeep, and then Kiddis, and we were just like, what are we doing? And I remember in year 11, me and Kiddis, we were having a chat like, oh, what subjects should we do? And I'm like, dude, like, look at our subjects. We're doing vet engineering. We're doing like Viscom, like all these easy subjects. Let's do one hard subject. And we did physics, failed it from year 11.
It was hard, man. It was
was a
actually hard though. It was so hard.
And that's what I'll bring back. I'm so like stupid that I didn't realize until the end that you with physics, you have to understand like chapter 1 to get through to chapter 12. I always thought like you kind of treat each chapter separately, but then if you didn't get chapter 1, you'll never understand chapter 11 or 12 because you're using things from chapter 1. But you know,
Yeah, physics was crazy hard.
that was a hard subject.
Yeah.
What would you say was your favorite subject in high school there?
Definitely Out to Red. Out to Red was awesome.
Yeah.
And I got my best score in Out to Red, I think, because it was so much fun.
Mm.
And our teachers were really good. We had
Mr. Graham.
Mr.
Oh,
Graham,
we did too, yeah.
Gunn, and Mr. Parker
Your
was
man,
really
yep.
good too. And Methods was my second favorite, so which is what I teach now, which is now my favorite subject. So yeah, it's a good subject.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. And like going back to you not being able to like kind of tell the teachers and that.
Yeah.
So are you proud to say that you're a teacher now? Would you say?
Yeah, absolutely. I think like a lot of people just know me now as just the teacher, I guess. So it's something I definitely carry with me, and I love my job. I don't go into work thinking it's like a dreadful thing or anything like that. So I compare it to like my days when I worked during uni and I was a forklift driver and I was a laborer. And those days when you did like a 8-hour shift, it felt like you were there for like a whole day, like 24 hours. But when I'm a teacher, like it never feels like a day goes long, which is good. Like work always feels like it's short and sharp. You're in and out. I don't do too much work at home. A lot of teachers will say they do, and they probably do, especially primary. But if you're a high school teacher and you've got your stuff in order, you can sort of just roll on pretty well. So yeah, if you put in the work early, you can.
Did you jump straight into VCE like that?
Yeah, so I joined a school which is only teaching 10 to 12. And so my first year I taught 11 special, 11 methods, and 11 general maths. And year 10 maths as well. And the school, it was their first year of having year 11. So I had to write the whole curriculum for special. And I had to write the whole curriculum for methods, pretty much. With a mentor for methods, but special by myself.
I thought there's like a curriculum that's already set out, then you just got to like teach it.
Yeah, so there's a study design and there's a textbook, or there's multiple textbooks, but it was my job to make all the SACs. It's my job to make all any online content, and you have to put everything online, so it's your job to make Google Sites and stuff like that. So, but particularly making the SACs was hard. But yeah.
Can I ask you a question and you got to be honest about it? Have you ever used ChatGPT yet for any of your exams? That's a fact.
Not for my exams or SACs. I've done it for a few posts that I've made because like I'm a coordinator as well, so we have to like, say stuff to the whole year level. And so, I had to write like a yearbook message to my year level, and I put it into ChatGPT a little bit. And
what was it?
Just like, I'm so proud of this cohort and we've done so much together and your resilience has paid off, yada, yada, yada. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. But you can, we've caught a few kids using it though. Yeah. And it's gotten them 0 scores on their SACs. So it's been an interesting year with that first time sort of coming in. Yeah. I think it started last year though, but this year we've caught at least 4 kids using it, I think.
For methods though?
No, not for methods, for like applied computing and stuff.
Like writing essays and that.
Coding as well.
Okay.
So I'm not quite sure what they do in that subject, but they did use it for coding, I think. And the teacher's like, I've never taught this code in my life to them. That's like a university level code, and they chucked it in their SAC.
But it's probably right though.
Yeah, no, it probably was, but yeah, it wasn't their work. So,
that's so good.
Yeah, and we actually had an incident where the English SAC got cheated. Like there was 12. The prompts got leaked by one of our teachers actually, but it got leaked. And then like all the students knew what the prompt was and stuff. So that was interesting. We had to have the authentication committee meet with all the students, and I was part of the committee and stuff. But yeah, so
it's always funny how like if the kids just use their smarts for cheating,
yeah, they put a lot of effort.
Apply that effort into studying,
yeah,
you probably do really well.
But some of them aren't smart enough to cheat well either. We catch them every time. So yeah.
So it's a year 12 exam period coming up, correct?
Yes, correct.
So does your students' scores reflect like your teaching abilities or anything?
Yeah, it does a little. So like your principal might look at the data once it's done and then decide on which classes they want you to teach the next year. So like if they think you did really poorly with your cohort, they might be like, oh, we don't want him to go with that that subject again. So yeah, it can.
So like let's say hypothetically, if all your students score under 25 in methods, what would happen to you?
I think I'd probably have to have a meeting with my boss, and he'd just be asking me like what went wrong, and I'd have to explain that it's probably more their fault than mine. I hope, but yeah, I don't know.
Do we think Mr. Marzi had that meeting with the principal then?
No, but that's what I'm saying. It was like 40-50% in that class was so smart, and then you just got like. Literally, there's a area in the physics class, just this corner. We're all grouped up in the dumb corner. And so, yeah. But I think that's kind of what happened to Mr. Lamprecht with geography.
Oh, what happened to him?
Because we all did pretty bad with geography that I think they didn't continue it.
Was that a subject in year 12?
Yeah,
we did it.
We did it.
How many kids were in that class?
It's like 5 or 6, yeah.
We had that boat trip in year 12.
That was fun.
That was sick.
You had a boat trip?
No joke.
Where'd you go?
Queenscliff Harbour.
That's sick.
Yeah, we went to like Swan Island and saw the seals.
That's so cool.
And did all that stuff.
I should have done geography.
Yeah.
No,
And
you should know. You should know.
I picked the most boring electives in my opinion, but yeah.
I think geography was one of my favorite subjects for sure.
It
'Cause
was because
it was so fun.
we could just bludge it the whole time.
Were you with me when we skipped class and we went to the cinemas with Tivy?
We went to the cinemas a lot. I reckon, was there a big group of us?
Yeah, there was a big
I
group.
went to
and
that.
then we
yeah.
watched
Was that Gone Girl?
Gone Girl.
Gone
Yeah,
Girl,
yeah.
yes. There was at least 12 of us, I reckon. And it
How did we
was,
go?
you know what was sick though? Tiv's discount,
Yeah.
like free movie ticket,
Yeah.
and you spend $5 and you get large drink, large popcorn, and a choc top.
What a good guy.
It was
That movie
so
messed
good.
me up, man.
That was a great movie.
That was a good movie.
So there was 12 of us. And then we had geography, that subject.
Did
I
we
remember.
skip geography?
We skipped geography, and then we got towards the end because like the movie didn't. I think it was a double geography, and we just walked into class, and
Yeah.
Mr. Lamprack didn't even ask.
Yeah,
us
right.
anything. We're just like, oh, we just keep studying, go guys.
But I swear back then our teachers used to always rock up late too. Like I remember Mr. Hallett one day didn't rock up to class, and we were doing like videos in the class of us doing wrestling moves and stuff.
Was that for history?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember.
Do you remember that?
There was we were diving through like that hula hoop ring.
Yeah, I think that would be in somewhere in my archives. Like I would have that somewhere. Our teachers used to always rock up late.
Do you ever do that?
No way.
Is that because you're like disciplined, or is that because you'll get in trouble?
No, just like no one at my school. I don't know. Like no one rocks up late to their class. Like my students are there early too.
Man, so there's just no accountability.
Like
at
it's our culture.
at our
We don't
at
have
our
school bells.
We didn't.
Okay.
Know, what?
We don't even have school bells.
Oh, what? How do you get to?
Like we just look at our watches and we're just like, kids, time to get to class, and we send them in like 5 minutes early. And so yeah,
Hmm.
like yeah, we don't have bells because then kids wait for the bell and then they go, which is what I used to do in school too.
Oh.
Like we'd always come late after lunch.
Yeah, well, especially after you nearly kicked the ball in my face.
But did you guys also ditch that day when we had an incursion? Like I lost my year 12 privileges over this.
That incursion was for. Oh, I don't remember. Can you remind me?
Well, I think we had an incursion at school and the note said year 9s, 10s, 11s, and 12. Girls and 12s. And so I thought it was just girls. And so I didn't go and I revised at home. And I remember I told the truth to Mr. Niefling, who was our coordinator. And it turned out 90% of like the boys wagged. No one went to this incursion.
Oh, I think I remember this.
And I think it was about like rape culture and stuff,
I
which
think I
probably
remember
made it look worse. And so no one went, but a lot of the boys like faked sickies and stuff. But I just told him the truth, and I lost my privileges to go home early. To what else was there? To go to the plaza at
Plaza
lunch.
at lunch. Yeah.
To go in the canteen. Yeah, like the year 12s had their own line for the canteen. Wasn't allowed to go in that.
Who cares?
But yeah, did you guys ditch that?
I don't think I did.
I think I ditched that from memory. I think I remember a lot of the guys ditched. So, and I think we would have talked about it too. That we were just like, oh, let's not go. What the hell is this? But I don't know. So you came at year 10. Did you do?
Yeah.
This is a bit of a weird question. Did you do sex ed with us? Sex ed.
What was it like? Abstinence ed? Was it more like just don't have sex? Was that what it was about?
It was, yeah.
I think I remember. Yeah, that was like maybe the second week. That was like
Man, what a way
it was
to-
a really like a baptism of fire.
What a way to get you in.
Again, like I don't know what to do in those situations. I'm at a new school. Like, how do we treat something like this? Is it a joke or
Yeah.
yeah?
And then you realize we're all kind of like brainwashed because if you didn't like, was your brother there since